Masa. Okwa masa.
Ngoja. So discussion ni are we relationship material?
It's not giving marriage. It's
Actually, that's the topic. It's not giving.
It's not giving
It's not giving marriage.
Guys.
Not giving marriage in 3.
Welcome back to another episode of the Vineyard podcast. Your weekly dose of fun, laughter, banter, and a whole lot of realness. Hey, my good friends, Mumeshindaji. Before I ask you...
Before you hold us like not forcing us to answer.
Let me begin by saying, Sina
Maoni. Sina Maoni. Siko salama Kingori. We are doing great. We are good.
Now there's this notion, especially with young people, that we are not relationship material. Do you first agree or disagree, and why?
At we are not
Relationship material. Mimi says you could date. Not I could date Sonia.
Make I ask, where are you buying this material?
Yeah, where's the fabric? Is it for a silly? Show me where it is on the shelf.
So it depends on the material it's coming from.
Hey. Iko wapi ni kitenge?
Exactly. I'm a satin,
But the heart of the question,
Yes.
do you think, if you are to compare us with our parents, do you think, and those standards, are we relationship material? Ama we are too, as if, okay, I've alluded to, we are too picky in the process. You know, the aunties will say, pick anyone. I don't know what you're looking for.
Utamsafisha huko mbele. You go make
Are
it
we
work.
relationship material?
Unajua, it is essential to also have raw materials you can work with. You just don't go with raw materials, whatever you will clean along the way.
So even when you're looking for a drug, you look for lead molecules. You don't just pick anything and just decide this has potential to be.
Exactly.
Where?
To all the brothers out there, take hand.
The views
Are we-
expressed herein do not
Hey.
solely represent myself.
Or maybe I need a question. What makes relationship material? Why is it that ni kama tukutani na our
Yeah.
parents? Wanashanga nini shida ya watu?
Yeah. Okay. I think even the first question is very answerable. If that's a word. I think the reason why we must have spoken about this in some of our other episodes, maybe just not in a very direct way like this. Why we may not appear to be relationship material
Actually, that's a better way to put it.
in our generation is because, one, we have removed marriage from the pedestal that it has always been on for most of us.
Actually, yeah.
Like, it's not the be all end all for people anymore. Not that it's not important, but it's like before it was everything. It was marriage first,
Actually.
then everything else you think about later.
If
So
you're
it's
not
like,
married, there's
yeah.
something.
Actually, if you're not married, it's like, first of all, you are sick, you are an outcast. First of all, there's no place for you in society. Who are you? What's wrong with you? What kind of family are you? Literally.
Yeah.
But when you look at it right now, and I think that's something that our generation has really worked towards, it's like, it's a beautiful thing, but it's just not the only accomplishment that will make you feel like you've had a big achievement in your life. That's why slowly by slowly we're starting to celebrate educational achievements a lot more, work achievements, spiritual like other achievements that are not just marriage or relationship focused or centered. Yeah, so marriage is not like the only goal anymore. It for some people it won't even be the main goal. It's we are a very, and something that we are known as Gen Z is we really just challenge the status quo. Fine, that's what you did. Sorry, that worked for you. Great.
But it's not
Kudos
for
to
me.
you.
Kudos to you. And I think that's why it may seem you don't just stomach anything anymore, because again, you're not too desperate. It's
Exactly.
you're not at it's like, guy, timwake siponitaka, my life is going to come to an end. Everybody is sort of what is it called, charting their own path. You look at your life, you find you desire marriage, you desire family, but you also have other things that you want to achieve in life, and you just take it in stride. So it's like, it's not this thing we are all clambering after, this thing called marriage. It's just, it is what it is. That's what I'd say.
We have learned to hear Hope's views.
Guys, I'm great. Like, I mean, I've got
Where's the man?
I don't know, he been lost for a long time. You need to locate him and tell him I'm here.
Yeah,
He's having a hard time finding me. Yeah, he's having a hard time finding me. I think popular, not this in fact is a very unpopular opinion.
Yes.
Our parents are very fixated, or the older generation is very fixated on marriage, because for them, there never needed to be an ingredient called love. It was just, are we partners that can work together to raise a home? That's it. That's why
Very
you don't have
practical.
to worry or care about. It was very practical arrangements. But right now, in the advent of mental health, we're very considerate of, are you a person that I am willing to share my life with? Are you a person I'm willing to love? Are you a person that I am? So with these factors in check, and you're not serving that, C must. It's not a must, by the way. And so that is why I would say that's a bit of why we struggle. They seem to think that we can't make relationships work, but it's because of their approach was totally different from our
Actually,
approach.
very.
And that's
Very,
what
very.
brings about the mismatch. It's not that we're incapable of having solid and long-standing relationships.
Yes.
It's just that the tenets of what we look for in long-standing relationships and whatever have significantly
very
shifted from what
different.
theirs were.
Yeah. Very, very, very different. And maybe that's what is now seen as picky.
Yeah.
Or like measuring on the minors.
You know,
Unajua kitambo ni kama umeokoka. Whatever else we'll just know.
we will just figure it
We'll
out as we
figure it
move.
out.
In fact, a very interesting thing today, one of my lecturers were talking about something to do with succession, which is a very key thing that in fact everybody should just be well acquainted with. And she was talking about the aspect of women who are not married to men but are in romantic relationships with men that are married. And she was saying, this is the angle that she talked about. She's actually way advanced in years. And there was a statement that she made, and I laughed in my head, because she said, if you are a side chick to a man, just don't be very greedy with this man. Ask him to at least buy you a flat and a small car and put it in your name. But don't start pushing for him to leave his wife and his children. Be generous and share.
At least be considerate.
Share, be considerate. And in my head, it was like, do you actually know that for the previous generation, this was like kind of like a non-issue? It's accept it. This is how men are. Just take them. You, as long as he's providing everything, he doesn't beat you and whatever. It's fine. Let him do whatever he wants to do. But that doesn't sit well with us. You know? And it's kind of like, because this is what you were taught to grow up and take and stomach. But then we were brought up in the age of equality that we were taught that why should you allow some advances for these other people when you cannot for these other people? It's a double standard. So it becomes an issue to reconcile the two. For me, it's a matter of generational differences.
Hata nikiwe kagoka. Sasa mkiongea hivyo. Kishwali lady. So is it that we're looking for, because some people can mistake it, is it not that now that we are looking for something perfect, and we are simply saying there are things that I value that the older generation didn't seem to value as much. For instance, I value, for example, a man who's gentle. The older generation were like, but men are aggressive, and we'll handle it as it goes. But for you guys, are like, I get you aggressive, but that's where it ends. You be aggressive, but when it comes to me, if you're aggressive, I can't. And mbona nikudanganya ati I'll marry you, then after a few months I'm like, take me back home.
Take me back.
So on one hand,
by the way.
On one hand, I can see why, for someone who's older, or for us, why we're not understanding each other. But on the other hand, do you think then they can be justified in saying that we're selfish and too technical about relationships for us. That we are so focused on me, but me, I don't want that. Me, I can't stomach that. Me, I was not raised to suffer like that. Do you think from where they sit, they'll be justified to say, you people are just selfish? You know, love, even God says, love is selfless, love is giving. If someone slaps you on the right, turn the left cheek. When someone steals your coat, give him the shirt.
In fact, if you read from history, what Jesus talked about, the slapping, giving the other cheek, and also giving the other coat, was actually meant to give you the upper hand, because it was meant to embarrass the other person. Because you are already lacking and you are already weak, and yet they want to also take advantage of this other side.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
That's what Jesus meant. It wasn't about covering and allowing them. No. It was about a coat was meant for a poor person then to keep them warm in the cold winter, because they were homeless and they couldn't really. So now they want to take their shirt. You're told to give them their coat. It's to like expose even more of their wrongdoing.
The kind of person
That's
that you
what
are.
it meant, and I don't know why we sometimes read things out of context like that. Jesus wasn't advocating for us to just cower at things.
To be oppressed and more
be
oppressed,
oppressed
and
and
further
accept to be
oppressed.
oppressed.
In fact, when they oppress you, make sure they oppress you
Make sure
even
they
more.
oppress you even more, so that no. Jesus was in fact the very
Talking to the
beginner
person
of
who's oppressed.
challenging
Yeah.
the status quo of how
Yeah.
things were looking like at that point. Whilst to some extent I would say we are probably a very more self-centered generation, but we're also very alive to the fact that we are able to draw boundaries, which doesn't sit right with a lot of people. There's some things that we're willing to take, and there's some things that we're so unwilling to not compromise on.
Yeah.
And that's it. And we're not willing to discuss it, because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Because why should this relationship thrive at my expense or at your expense?
At any
That's
of
not
our
even
expense.
thriving.
Yes.
Well, but,
One person is-
but there's always
one person
compromise
is
in
pretending.
a relationship.
Compromise is totally different from one person being oppressed in a relationship. And probably that is probably where we need to learn to start drawing the balance and the difference. But I would vehemently say that we are more proactive in stating the things that we dislike, and we're very unapologetic about it,
Yeah.
which is something that when people are so used to being oppressed for a long time and people are not used to speaking against it and challenging it, it will look like you're being hard-headed.
Yes.
But it's not. It's just
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah. It's literally what we've said, a complete generational difference. Our parents may never understand, because that's their generation.
Yeah.
You get, like, the way they raised us is not the way they were raised by their parents.
True.
So they cannot expect the same outcomes of, like, from us, from what they experienced. You get. So it's yes, whatever, we are self-centered. Maybe we are a bit more sensitive. Maybe we are a bit more picky. We could even say that, because there are things that, like, if we existed, I'm sure in our parents' generation, all of us would have been settled and married by now, because
Actually.
it was really not about what does hope want, what does hope like, what works for hope. No, it was always
The time has come.
yeah, self-sacrifice complete, like, to an extreme level that I just don't believe is healthy. That just doesn't work for us, and it's not wrong. You know, it's something.
Yeah.
Something can be different. It doesn't make one right
and
and
another
make
wrong.
another wrong. It's just, yani tu ni vile tu
Yeah.
iko.
That I'll want to own property and it's written my name and
Yeah.
not Mrs. someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. It's just different.
Or maintain Twitter. You're like, but why do I need to add Onyango?
Yeah, for example. Yeah, and it's just sijui lakini mbona umetumia hiyo, like,
No, it was
well, hata inaingiana kusema tu kweli. So ni unyango.
May the Lord locate you.
Hey! Back to self. Yeah, so it's me. I even stopped thinking too much into it. Like, we are a different generation. I will never be the person who will just sacrifice the things I desire and the things I look for in a partner just because I feel like time is up.
Yeah.
I know, I wish we could have like people like pastors, because I know they usually say maybe we are speaking from a point of advantage because we are still young-ish. Are we young? I don't know. Yeah, we are young.
Still, yeah.
Yeah. because they say we speak like this, unainua kiburi, unaongea hivi, and then when you get to 30, you're the one who is there knocking at the pastor's door asking for a miracle.
Man, Lord,
Just a man.
just a man.
Just a man, Lord. And maybe 5 years from now our opinions will be different. I don't know.
I usually think when we come to that stage of when maybe you're 35 and you're thinking, God, I need a wife.
Yeah.
For me, I'll be like, if I look back, will I regret the decisions I made? If I'll regret, then I do believe there's somewhere I was a bit unwise. You know, maybe there was someone who was there lingering in my space, but I was too technical or too, you know, the things that don't matter the most. I don't like how she smiles. Sasa, ulikata mtu juu ya? Ama, mi sioni tukipeleka, sipendi vile anaongea. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask the Lord to work on your hand.
Yeah, if I'm to look back and regret when I'm 35 and I'm still single, then I'll be. But if I'm to look back and be like, I wouldn't do anything different, I'll be like, okay, I still maintain the standards I uphold, that these are the things I'll look for a person in a relationship.
Yeah.
And also, I like what Son had said. I think we've shifted from marriage being the purpose of life, because I feel like for our parents, for you to make it, when he misses Nani, when he Mr. Nani, you have a few kids with you. And
actually, even respect in society was tied to you being a family person. What could you do as a woman if you're not a married woman?
Let me tell you, it's still there with the older generation. If right now, say it was 2027 and I wanted to stand for MP and whatever, do you know my family would be helter-skelter asking me, see at least tukue na mtu anasimama kando yako hapo ndio ukae mwanamke anaweza simamisha boma.
Even men, even it's very difficult for men to stand for high political
without
without a wife.
Married, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
I've never looked at it like that.
It's literally, it's the fabric of society. And things are changing. Like, when we get to our 30s and stuff, and like our generation is now, that is not going to be a thing, my friends. You see that even with this whole Mandamano thing, it has never been about, we don't really care who you are, where you're from, like, whatever, all those are details. Just show us.
Details. Just show us your
The content.
Yes, that's it. All those other things are extras. So I think you can look at it as like it's a good thing. And it can also be, okay, I don't see the bad. I know some people may see that thing of sharing marriage from the pedestal that it is. It saves you also a lot of unnecessary pressure. Right now we have enough pressure on its own in the stage of life that we are in. So just feeling like you're running out of time, blah, blah, blah. I think that's one thing I can say we have successfully, some of us, been able to do. If you're still pressured about marriage, may God locate you in Jesus' name. But
Like them say I am.
Like them say you are.
I think there's one thing I heard a pastor preach and she was saying, enjoy your singleness, but understand the season you're in, because when seasons change, it becomes a bit harder. But also two, know your purpose, because I think at times we rush into things, then you discover, okay, and there's nothing as bad as being a Christian and marrying the wrong person, because there's no grounds for divorce in that. The law can give, but as a Christian, I can't.
My friend, you are there until either God takes one of you home.
So for me to go help my heart to be able to stomach this which I'm finding so hard to overlook.
Now do you want to stomach your whole life? And I think that's why we are so picky, of lack of a better word, because who wants to stay in a situation where you are just depressed in the name of you're tolerating your person, you're tolerating your partner because please, I beg, I wezi, just because
we can forbear for a season, but entirely
you'll build resentment.
Exactly.
You'll build resentment.
Okay, John the Baptist.
There's no deputy Jesus here.
Now, as we come to the end, maybe as we close, maybe we can say now, what are the things that for us are very foundational when we think about relationships or marriage that has to come? That things that if I do not see these things, let's not waste our time. Let's not, I make sense. But listen, me as answer, if you're not saved,
there's nothing to talk about.
Let's be friends, for sure. Let's be friends. That's one way to spread the gospel. Let's be friends. Two, character and how you treat people, for me, matters a lot. You know, I wouldn't want, sadly, a wife who goes dishing out our issues everywhere. You know how I see content creators make content out of their marriages? Me, if you do that,
that's it.
All your business is on YouTube.
Imagine. Me, those ones. Let us resolve this. And also, three, we're discussing this. maybe this will need a bit on communication. You know, at times as ladies, you'll want us to know what is wrong on the word go.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're mad. But when I ask you what is the issue,
Yeah. Unafura.
I don't know.
You better read my mind.
I beg, let's be adults. If you're not in the mood to talk, tell me. I can't speak to you right now because I might say things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
give me time, give me space. I'm
Okay.
like, saa, next week tafadhali na pia usikae sana. Because hata nitasahau mbona ni Kenya nilifanya. You know, so I think for me those are the few things I'll say.
Yeah.
If those are not in a please,
Yeah.
just move on.
The only thing I'd add is I just have to like you. Is that shallow?
No.
Like,
Not at all. I'm a big advocate of you should like your person.
yes. And I need to enjoy your company.
Mm.
Like, you need to speak and I'm not like, guys, see anyamaze bana. Like, as shallow and as stupid as that, all those fundamental things they apply to me as well, but I need to enjoy your
That's
company.
also fundamental.
Yeah.
Because it keeps it.
It keeps you going. And you need to be funny to me, at least.
At least
least.
that one we usually know.
Yeah.
That one we know. That one we can't
Just
complain.
that. The rest are details. But yeah, me, I'm not an forbear somebody at because umeokoka.
But I can't hang with you.
Yeah, we need to be able to hang. We need to be able to just banter stupid things. You know, just connect nicely, easily, flow. Then I know that when I finish my day, I want to look forward to come and see you. Not
Mama Nani.
Unavumilia tu kwa ndoa.
unavumilia tu.
Unavumilia tu kwa ndoa.
Unatafuta story. Yani unatafuta story. How's your day? Good. And you
And
hey,
you was-
not bad.
Oh, not bad. How not bad?
Hey, it's giving a bull texting.
It's giving.
Hi.
Yeah, hey. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
And this is your person. It's very hurtful to force a conversation with someone you want to spend life with.
Yeah. Terrible. Get out of
Any
there.
additives?
Run.
All the fundamentals, like right down to it, all fundamentals have to be in place, like you guys have said. The other thing is I just definitely need to look at you and think you're the most handsome person in the world.
Period.
That's probably the only thing I can add.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to look at you and be like, yeah, I actually absolutely love this guy.
Yes.
He's beautiful.
End of story.
That's it.
It's beautiful.
Kingory doesn't like that adjective to describe
Okay, he's
me.
handsome.
He's handsome man.
You know Philip is beautiful. I'm like, Philip.
Nini mko na issue na adjectives?
He's handsome. Ni mtanashati.
Okay, ni
Wewe.
mtanashati.
You're
Sorry.
dropping.
Wewe.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it from me.
Thank you very much. And as we close, maybe you can tell us in the comments if you're a parent, do you think you're a bit selfish when you're talking about this? You're there listening to us, you're like, watoto wa siku hizi. Ndio maana.
Unasikia watu wako vile wanasema?
And if you're our age mates, do you agree with what we were sharing? Nama, you think we're also a bit delusional? Until next time, this is the Vineyard. See you. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
See you.